Today's episode of Dungeon Crawlers Radio is brought to you by Gamers Inn, your one-stop location for all your gaming needs. Located in Lehigh City, Utah, their fun and friendly staff will be more than happy to answer any of your gaming needs. Just remember, Gamers Inn, it's where adventures begin.
It's time to power up.
Autobots, roll out! Broadcasting live from the DCR studio.
Oh yeah!
The Geek Revolution starts here.
Excellent!
Get ready for the #1 hit geek radio show out there.
Well, it is impressive, isn't it?
Because it's time for Dungeon Crawlers Radio. Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Alright everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dungeon Crawlers, where I'm going to torture the rest of the hosts. Because, as you heard earlier, we talked about the worst superheroes, and now we're going to talk about the greatest. So each of them get to pick only one.
Only one?
Only one!
I'm telling you again, that's like choosing my favorite child, and you can't say that I don't have any because it is hard.
That's okay.
That's where you line them up and say, children, today only one of you will not be an orphan.
They kind of did that in Meaning of Life. You know, a little bit. You know.
They most definitely did.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yes.
That was a great song. Yeah. The weirdest thing in the world, you know, old lady washing dishes, baby drops to the floor. Oh, dear, will you pick that up? Yeah.
Oops.
You've
I feel
never
like this
seen
is-
The Meaning of Life? Monty Python?
It's a Monty
Really?
Python. Yeah.
It's
It
Monty
is
Python.
absolutely hilarious. It's
I've
one of
seen
my
bits and
favorites.
pieces, but I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through.
Oh. And see, right before that, before that part where they show the lady just drop a kid on the floor, they've got a lady in the delivery room.
Yeah.
And they're getting all ready. And say, oh, we have everything. Well, I think so, but there might be something missing. What is it?
We need the machine that goes boing!
Oh, yes, the machine that goes boing! and wait, there's something else. There's something,
You should be very
the patient! Oh, yes, the patient! Has anyone seen the patient?
Yeah.
She's missing.
The death stuff is kind of funny. The
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that
Gets to choose his own death? Oh, yeah.
And he gets to
Shows a
chase
man
himself off a cliff.
Running
by,
away from all these women
like
who are
100
wearing...
topless women.
Nice.
Well, they're not just topless. Now, you got to understand, they're wearing running shoes,
Oh, yeah.
a bikini bottom,
And a helmet.
elbow pads and knee pads
Oh, yeah.
and helmets. Oh, and I think wrist pads, too.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're all outfitted to go skating topless in a bikini bottom.
That does not sound pleasant.
But they chased him.
No, it doesn't. I would hate to trip.
I'm
No, I'm not talking about that.
No, I know. I'm sure everything else unpleasant. Wait. We'll just
Either way.
we'll
leave
from
this
the
there.
He was
conversation.
choosing his death, and this is what he chose. They chased him off of a cliff, and he fell right down
Did
into
he
his
get to
grave.
choose his last meal?
Probably. Then there's the other guy. Then there's the family that's eating and death shows up and they're like, how did we die? How did we all die?
The salmon pate.
The salmon pate! Oh, it was a few days old. I knew I shouldn't have opened that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Great movie.
That is.
A little twisted, a little weird.
With Monty Python.
Definitely
Some
twisted.
senses. Yeah. I should let my kids watch
That's
The
definitely
Holy
for someone-
Grail. Monty Python, Search for the Holy Grail.
Oh, my
Who
kids
doesn't love that movie?
show.
Oh, yeah.
Great movie. My kids are
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this was the stupidest show I've ever seen.
What's the matter with
Are
your
you sure they're
kid?
related
Because
to
they
you?
watch to the very end and they're just like, it's stupid. The cops show up, blah, blah. They're just like upset
Oh,
because they were hoping to see this Titanic ending and it just ends. And I'm like, yeah, that's how it ends. And they're like, I don't
Monty
ever want to see
Python.
this again.
Again, are you sure they're your children?
They are.
Okay.
They love superheroes and everything else.
Did any of you ever watch Flying Circus?
Oh yeah, I have them all on DVD.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Have you seen the one where the guy starts stealing things
Yeah.
with his backside?
I'm sorry, the biker grannies from hell is awesome.
Oh, I don't know
And
if
the
I've seen that one.
exploding penguin. Yeah. The
I
dead
used to-
parrot.
I used to watch that in the middle of the
Oh.
night. I found my dad had a bunch of old electronics from when he was in college back in whatever 19
Yeah.
whatever it was.
19 whatever.
And he had this old. It was a black and white TV. I'm not even joking. It had probably a 2x2 screen on it, even though the thing itself was probably 10 by 10
Yeah.
and like a foot and a half long almost, just for this 2-inch screen. black and white, but it was awesome because it picked up whatever channels. It was basically a small TV set. You
Yeah.
could sit in your lap, and I'd throw the blanket over my head because I shared a room with my 3 brothers. And then I'd watch Flying Circus, and what was the other one that would come on? It was
Red Dwarf?
no, it was Canadian Royal Canadian Air Force.
Okay.
Yeah, which was basically the Canadian version of Monty Python, which was still pretty funny.
Y'all are melting my brain.
Yeah.
Oh,
Red Green is awesome.
oh yes,
Uh,
Red Green's an
Yeah.
epic one. Red Dwarf you mentioned,
Red Dwarf is
also
good.
quite nice.
Yes. All right. So
Oh man, I thought I was gonna get out of having to pick.
We're
not
moving
gonna get
back.
a
We're back,
pick.
and I
to
think
the
you're up
greatest
first.
superhero,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're gonna
Big
make
looked
we're
at.
gonna make Varen go first.
Oh!
But guess what? I am prepared. I am prepared. And somebody
Because you
mentioned.
want to know why I'm making you go first? Because now that means time is ticking, and she's gonna start sweating bullets.
Ooh.
Because now she has to decide, and then she's gonna bounce back and
She has
forth.
more time to decide, so
Now
it's
she's
gonna
giving
be
me the
harder
Regina
to figure
look.
it out.
Like she's gonna yank my heart out of my chest and crush it.
That, or she's going to frame you for murder.
And I got the bird. Yay! So Varen.
All right. Well, speaking of birds, it wasn't a bluebird, was it? But it was mentioned earlier. Somebody didn't like this particular insect of a superhero.
And this is your greatest?
Well, among
The
all of,
greatest.
wait! I haven't even said a name yet. I've already got a snort. I don't even think you guys know who it is. But again, this isn't saying above everyone, but I'm saying this particular superhero stands out above all the rest because it is one that
I'm just
Came
gonna
to
say.
life
I'm gonna say a
young
word.
in my life.
I'm gonna say a word before you announce it because I'm just picturing a spoon.
Oh, you are good. You
And
were
the
so
fact
good.
of something that what a clock would do,
a clock.
No.
not the tick.
Oh, it is the
Is-
tick. Actually.
oh, okay.
Oh!
But I thought you were talking about the time frame in which it was taking to get to her for.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
the
why I
tick.
said spoon.
It's a spoon! Something that strikes fear into the hearts of those who we. Yes, exactly. The tick. I've been a huge fan of the tick since I was a kid. I remember growing up watching the series. I loved it.
Yeah.
I remember when the live action first came out. I hated that. It was stupid.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
really
disappointing.
excited about the next one because I watched the trailers and that actually does seem pretty funny. And
But
I
that's
love.
only on
Isn't that the
Amazon
one with
Prime.
Patrick
It's only on
Warburton?
Amazon Prime. Yes, but it is.
Well, the
it's
new
funny.
one is coming out, but the first live action was with Patrick Warburton, which
It was
I think
horrible.
he did a great job.
He was good, but
But
all
the
the other
rest of it was
characters were
bad.
terrible.
Well, and
Deflator Mouse was not Deflator
I know they
Mouse.
changed the names.
Oh yeah, they changed the names, and not only the names, they changed
they
the
could be
personalities.
PC and
there was
everything.
there was too much of a love triangle
Yeah.
going on between all of them, and that wasn't what they were in the comics. That's
No.
not what it was in the series. No, they were superheroes. They
Mhm.
were all there for a specific job.
Yep.
And I think the costuming has something to be said for the fact that their costuming was.
Bad.
Their costuming was terrible, but again,
Wasn't that the
with the
late
way comic
90s?
heroes are
It was,
drawn,
it was late 90s.
it's difficult to do costumes like that anyway. Notice in all the X-Men movies, they weren't.
We will put you
Wolverine
all in
wasn't-
lycra.
Yeah,
It
Wolverine
would be
wasn't wearing
lovely.
yellow spandex. I don't
Well, what
remember
would
any
you
of the
prefer,
movies.
yellow spandex?
Exactly.
Hey, it could have worked.
No.
However,
Didn't they have
couldn't.
it at the end of the movie for like a split? Not
No,
that one.
there was a
was
there
a
was a
teaser.
scene that they had taken out of
was the
the
Wolverine? It was the Wolverine.
Yeah, you're supposed to open up the case and see that actual outfit.
Oh,
But it was the
And
brown
there's
and
a-
orange one, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was-
Because
the-
spandex
yeah,
is just
the
not
original.
flattering on anybody.
No.
Ever.
No.
And
I can think of several
men
people I
have
like.
to
Not with men, though. No.
You gotta tape things down and
Eh.
it's just not.
You know, but for the women superheroes,
You mentioned I came in overalls. That's because I am not a LuLaRoe person. If something is that
Oh.
skin tight to me, I feel so claustrophobic.
That's
just,
okay.
I can't do
Yeah.
it. I'm
No, I
sorry.
understand.
is there
Forgive
a
me.
superhero with overalls? I can't think of one.
What are you talking about?
What?
I'm just saying
Look at Rocket
spandex.
Ralph. The guy with the hammer. He's got overalls. I can't
Is he a
remember his name
superhero?
now. That's a superhero, sort of. Anyways, all right. So the Tick
The Tick.
The
is
Tick.
the
The
greatest
Tick.
superhero.
I'm gonna
for
put
you.
him up. And now he's also a little bit. I don't want to really throw him in the lump with all the rest of the superheroes because he's more of a comic relief to me than an actual superhero.
But that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
He's
Comic
like the
relief
farce
works.
of the coolness, even though the coolness is.
Spider-Man is comic relief a lot.
I realize
He's still
all of
superhero.
the comic universes are definitely fantasy, and I don't know why I have to do this, but in my head, I enjoy those fantasies more if I find them more realistic. Whereas the Tick, even though it's very much not realistic, it's just super enjoyable.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Eliza's up.
I'm up.
Yep. Who is the greatest superhero? According to you.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris does not count.
Yeah, I don't think he falls into the.
He is not in the
genre
superhero
of
comic book
heroes.
And yes, I know you met him, and he touched you.
Oh.
And you survived.
And I'm rewatching all of the seasons.
No one survives when Chuck Norris.
That
touches.
just means I am epically awesome.
Yes.
Does Sean Spencer count?
No, he's not a superhero.
No.
Fine. Okay, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
I would say Wolverine, but that clearly is just because I like Hugh Jackman shirtless.
All right. So why Doctor Strange?
Because he's had to overcome. He wasn't just, oh my gosh, here's a special power. It was he had to overcome his major obstacle of
His
not
major douchebaggery.
Well, okay, he was a douchebag, but I'm just saying, as yeah, he did actually. I mean, he really had to humble himself.
He did, yes.
To very lower levels, and I mean, he was a surgeon. He was the greatest surgeon, and everybody, and the one thing that was taken away from him. So it wasn't something that was given to him. It was something that was taken from him, and he had to relearn every single ounce of other dimensions that I think. That really, a lady said, you know what I mean? The lady literally kicked the crap out of him. She's like, there goes your soul.
Yeah.
Now kneel before me and learn this stuff. And it wasn't a superpower that was just given to him. He literally
he had to
work for it. And, he wasn't born on Krypton, and he wasn't bit by a spider.
All right.
Hey, that happens. People get bit by spiders all the time.
All the time. I still
don't have any powers, though.
Wrong spider.
Because they're not radioactive.
How many
I don't know if I want
radioactive
that.
spiders have you been bitten by?
Ooh, jury's out.
Come back to me when you have an answer.
Well, technically, aren't they all? Because we're all absorbing radiation from the sun.
Not particularly. Not if your exoskeleton has UV blocking rays.
Okay.
Or abilities.
All right.
Is there some insect sunscreen I don't know about?
Have you ever seen an exoskeleton on a spider get sunburnt?
No, because they're black.
Yeah. Perfect sunscreen.
I will also say this,
good
because I know a lot of you are thinking, okay, Batman, but think Batman was given his wealth, right? And, okay, so we do have a lot of douchebags that are billionaires out there that not one of them has decided to become Batman. But, again, Doctor Strange had lots and lots and lots and lots of money.
And blew it all away trying to fix his hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He humbled himself.
Yeah. See?
All right.
So
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
So, comic book or the movie Doctor Strange?
As of right now, movie.
Okay.
Only because...
Good. That's fine. It was good. It was
comic
a good movie.
book was hit and miss.
Yeah,
I think.
book was
so
I
it was,
agree. My only problem with the movie is Benedict Cumberbatch and his horrible American accent.
True.
Come on now. You gotta look over that accent.
No.
And the great head of hair is awesome.
No.
Yes.
He still reminds me of a giant grinning cat that's ready to kill me.
Well, I would have said Sherlock was a superhero, but that doesn't count either.
Nope, it doesn't.
He's not a superhero. He's a detective.
And even then,
They're superheroes.
he's just a douchebag in that too. So that must be his thing, because he was con and he was.
He's the ultimate bad boy.
All right.
He's the ultimate British bad boy.
That's more like Loki.
Tom Hiddleston.
But he can't be super. He's
he
a
might be
villain,
James
but
Bond soon.
he's hot.
I can see that.
I would like it if he becomes James Bond.
I can
would
totally
be
get
good.
behind that and see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I'd
right.
do it. Yeah.
So
Pick your baby.
we're to you.
You're so mean.
Sacrificial lamb. Let's go.
Which child's getting thrown to the altar?
Which child? Because I went back and forth, and the funny thing is that when you think about it, the core of these two heroes are kind of the same.
Okay.
Because I was going back and forth between, and don't say anything, Superman and Captain America.
Okay.
Because A, I like my stick in the muds. I think they're fun.
Okay.
But ultimately, and sorry to my first love, Superman, I went with Captain America, Steve Rogers, the original.
She's saying this as she's wearing a Wonder Woman t-shirt. I'm just going to put that out
works
there.
really well for me because Superman was mine.
I was going to say I'm equal opportunity.
I
in
am
this
a Wonder
case-
Woman fan, and but I can't say that right now because Wonder Woman's so big in the theaters right now. But I did
Could
love.
say that.
I loved She-Ra. I loved Wonder Woman. I loved He-Man. Not saying that they were, but I'm just saying
Hey.
those were the shows that I grew up watching.
I watched them.
Yeah,
I loved Wonder Woman, so I didn't want to be all like, "Oh, I love Wonder Woman." I haven't even seen the movie
2002
yet,
version
so
of He-Man is
so-
much better.
Really?
but
revisit
Superman
that.
is okay.
Because I remember revisiting the
Captain
cartoons
America.
even.
Oh, Captain America.
and
That's
just
right.
going,
She chose Captain
wow, I
Captain
watched that?
America.
Yeah,
I'll
watch
go
the
with you on that
2002
one,
version.
Mr. World War II.
Better graphics, reamped story, much better.
And I
It
don't-
doesn't look like Conan the Barbarian just decided to throw on a white.
Hey,
But,
I
you
used
know,
to play
funny
with
enough,
Conan
I
toys.
always
How did
wanted
we
to
get
see
on this
Arnold
topic?
Schwarzenegger as He-Man, though.
Okay, this is the thing.
By
I
the
love
power
He-Man.
of the universe.
I love He-Man. That old 80s cartoon made no sense to me because Prince Adam looks like He-Man but with purple pants and a white shirt. At least in the 2002 remake, He-Man doesn't look the same as Prince Adam. Prince Adam is a scrawny, skinny, blonde-haired kid. He-Man is a really buff, blonde-haired
You-
dude.
He
that's
doesn't
tan.
just
you
pull out
wanna
a sword
take
and light
from-
flashes.
you
He
wanna
pulls out a
take-
sword and he grows muscles.
Yes.
Wow.
We want to take 90s all the way up to now, and 80s and 90s and up till now. I'm talking Ninja Turtles, people.
Hey,
They're getting
depends on-
creepier looking.
they get weird.
The 90s were perfect, and now they just look creepy.
You're not up with the nose nostrils, huh? All right.
Not
so back
really.
to Captain America.
Okay, Captain America.
So Captain America is your number one choice.
I
Mr.
know.
Steve Rogers himself.
Well, I am Agent Carter as well.
That's true.
Bad geek. You're never living that
That's
down.
okay.
So yes, I
Yeah. Okay. Side note: when I was looking through your pictures and saw you in it, I saw Agent Carter immediately. But Mandy, I don't know. Maybe it was just a picture.
maybe
Yeah. That's okay.
still
okay,
doesn't
keep-
gonna absolve you.
I know. Keep
but
going.
moving on.
I'm just making that side note.
And now I'm back to the real note because yes, Captain America. But kind of going back to Superman, they're both kind of the moral compass of their teams when you think about it. And one of the reasons why I love Captain America is that part with him and Erskine in the movie when he's talking about how the serum amplifies everything. He's like, you don't have to be anything more than what you are. You just have to be that good person. And the thing is that, yeah, he gets jaded in the later movies, but at the core, he still believes in everything he's doing. He still believes he's fighting on the right path. Granted, it may not be what the right path should be, like in Civil War, because...
Well, no, I think that's the great thing about Captain America's character is he sees sticks to a set of morals.
He does.
He does not let anything bend or waver from that.
He doesn't believe in a gray area. It's black and white.
Well, he does allow some gray.
He's gotten a lot better
Yeah.
in the modern era.
But I think
I think with Bucky,
he's not
though,
afraid
there
to
was a
stand
big
up.
gray area
Yeah,
with Bucky.
he's not afraid to stand up to the government. Like this is ridiculous that we're signing up these registration acts because they're going to use it against us.
And Winter Soldier, man, he was not.
Yeah.
He was not down with the Big Brother Act.
No, he wasn't, and he definitely comes from, and that shows the time era he grew up when it wasn't, the government didn't control you and stuff like that, and everyone was there for the betterment of everyone, and so you do see that in that character a lot. The thing I really like about the character as well is just how basic it is. It's there. You don't have to worry about is he going to waver. Now, of course, what they're doing with the character now in the comic books is
We're moving
horrible.
on. Moving on.
But
We do not speak of it.
Yeah, and okay. To be fair,
You've been shut up.
to be fair,
Jeez,
for
Dano,
those of
take
you
that.
that don't know, the Red Skull has been able to cosmically rewrite the universe. I'll leave it at that. If you want to learn more, go find it out. It's horrible what they've done to the character. I will admit. I will say. No, I won't say that because then I'll get crucified. I'll say it off air. Okay, moving on. What else do you want to say? It's nothing bad against your. Don't worry. I just don't want to be crucified by other people outside.
I accept
Sure.
that logic. And here's my logic for another reason why Captain America is awesome. He
Okay.
was introduced by punching Hitler in the face.
Yes. I would. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
I mean, who else has an introduction like that?
Not many.
No.
Not
No.
many at all.
But I do remember there were some Superman cartoons where he wouldn't beat up Hitler and Nazis a bunch.
Meh, he's an alien.
Okay, this
Indiana
really
Jones
want to
would
bring
have
this
done the
up with you
same
because I
thing.
feel like you were the perfect person to have this discussion with.
Oh
right.
dear.
Okay? Now, this goes strictly into DC and does not waver outside of these two particular characters. It
Okay.
is the classic Batman versus Superman.
All right.
Ooh.
Superman.
Are we talking Frank, or not Frank?
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller, thank you. Are we talking Frank Miller Dark Knight, or are we talking like
No, I'm talking original Batman, original Superman.
from the 30s?
No, just the concept of the character.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Which one do you think's better?
Superman.
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 Oh. Wow, I think this is the first room I've ever been in where I feel like I'm at home.
Superman.
Because there's so many people who claim that Batman is so much better. And I've always wondered how the whole Batman-Superman showdown went down without Batman just being melted in his pants instantaneously.
Because Superman is Superman, and he believes in people, and he believes they can be good, and he also believes he should use his powers to do that.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's true, but if it is a battle against Superman versus Batman, and we all know Superman's good, then he would know that Batman's bad, and he should vaporize him that fast, over with, right?
But Superman has a moral code that wouldn't do that.
I understand that, but we are talking hypothetically. What if Batman decides he's going to start killing everybody? He's now the epitome of
Superman
evil.
still will not kill someone.
He may turn him over to the government, but
Yeah.
he will not kill him. Because, kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week, his Earth parents instilled in him that integrity and that need to protect human life.
Okay.
Unless we're talking Man of Steel, Superman.
we're
Then
We won't go there.
then everything's screwed.
If we're
Everything's
crossing
screwed
that line, then I'll say Batman. If we're crossing that moral line, I will say Batman in a heartbeat.
Well, Batman already crosses that moral line all
I'm
the
just
time.
Yeah, didn't
saying
he used to kill people in
because
the comic books?
He
No.
did.
Yeah, he did.
I believe-
And besides that, Batman has contingencies on how to kill every member of the Justice League, including himself.
There are a lot of people
Wow.
and people out there that
They had
I
an
would
animated
believe in corporal
movie about
punishment. I literally would not be a good judge. It's like, oh, you did that, then we'll just do that to you, and you'll see how you like it. So I would go with Batman in that. But as far as superpowers go, Superman.
Now,
So-
see, I've
so-
always had this struggle. Now, I like Batman. I respect him for what he does as a vigilante.
Yes.
But whenever I've heard the word superhero, I always thought of somebody with superpowers, and I really never felt like Batman had any superpowers.
He has money.
Okay, so
Money is not a superpower.
okay,
It's not.
so my greatest is of
You can
course
make any
Superman.
superpower you want.
But to how Batman is a superhero is because he uses that money and his intelligence to fight off probably the worst criminals in the DC universe.
Iron Man
that
does the
reside
same thing,
in
though,
Gotham.
right?
And not only
Technically.
that, he has helped. He's one of the leading members to form the Justice League. He keeps them in check, and he's provided all the tech to help them.
I would definitely classify him as a hero, and even
But is he a good hero?
superhero.
Is he a
but
good
does
hero?
he have
No.
a superpower though?
No, he doesn't
He's
have
like
a
the,
superpower.
he's like the
But
one
you don't have to be-
non-hero that's actually transcended from being a dude to a super dude.
But you don't need to have superpowers to be a hero.
No, you don't.
Superhero. I mean, Iron Man doesn't have superpowers.
He just
He's-
has an
I-
awesome
He's
I
just
suit.
super rich and can build a suit.
And see, and I would put Iron Man in the same category as Batman.
And he
But
has
then,
a pacemaker.
but then we have
With
Hal.
a pacemaker.
No.
Then we
Not
have
many
every
old people with a
Green
pacemaker can do
Lantern out there. Technically, the only reason they're superheroes because of a ring.
They were given a power.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really
well,
a
so
power.
was
It's a
Batman.
ring.
It was
If they
the
lose
bat
that ring, they have
signal.
no power. If that ring depletes of power because they have to recharge it.
It's true.
So
That's almost a gadget in itself then.
yeah, but at the same time, Batman has also honed himself to a fighting prowess.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like
He's
that.
definitely a lot more trained.
Yeah.
I feel like he's probably
You know,
more
and then-
trained and has
Then
sharper
if you
skills
want,
than Superman.
you know, and then if you
Hence
want to
the
go through all
reason I
that, there's
chose
Booster Gold.
Chuck Norris.
Booster Gold literally has no superpowers.
I love Booster Gold.
But he has a lot of future tech that makes him look like he has superpowers.
That was a good episode
Anybody
of
can go and
Smallville.
study karate for years and years.
Yeah.
Chuck
Iron
Norris did
Fist,
it. Chuck Norris.
Iron Fist did too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And he actually received
Elektra.
the Iron Fist. From what I've heard, Chuck
Elektra.
Norris only has an iron.
I didn't
chin
like the
hidden under
movie.
his beard.
I like Electra.
Yeah. So okay. So mine
He's
is
not a third
Superman.
fist.
Almost the same.
Jennifer,
like you said,
what's
he
her
has a very
face is-
strict moral code. He is the center of the Justice League. But not only that, what I really love about the Superman comics is they really try to focus on him trying to be an alien and being human. You know, living in a human society and having
Yeah.
a normal life.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't see that. They're just like, oh, he's invulnerable, blah, blah, blah. Most of his struggles is trying to balance Lois, his day job, being Superman, being a good son, and just trying to cope with life.
Here's something somebody pointed out to
Basically
me
a
about
mom
Superman
with a cape.
that I thought was actually a pretty interesting take on it. Superman's also the only one whose real identity is not who he is during his day job.
Correct.
I can be Superman. Ready? I'm Superman.
Yeah.
I'm not Superman.
He also is the guy with the most worst disguise ever. I really don't know how anyone ever thought that was
I can
going to work
explain
out,
that.
even
So,
in the 30s.
Superman has a hypnotic power. So when you're
I don't
looking
remember
at him,
reading it
yeah. So
reading about that.
that is one of his ability. Is when you're looking at him, he actually emits a hypnotic aura, so that when he puts his glasses on, he's producing that. So that's why no one really recognizes that Clark Kent is Superman.
Huh.
All right.
Because I just remember in the comics I was reading, a long time ago, I found this awesome book, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like the first 20 years of Superman comics all in a
Yeah.
hardback. And I remember reading, it was probably one of the best books I grabbed one day. But yeah, so they went through all the different things that happened from the time he came to Earth, and it showed a little bit how he kind of changed. Because I remember originally he didn't fly,
Yeah,
he jumped.
He jumped.
He could jump over
large buildings in a single
bound.
bound.
Yeah. But then it changed where he could then fly.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, Wonder Woman's kind of the same way. She
Same
used
thing.
to fly. That's why she had the invisible plane. But now she flies. So why in a plane? Yeah.
yeah,
She has the best way of changing a wardrobe in the world.
she spins around really fast.
Right.
I tried that once.
So
I got
does
dizzy and fell over.
Superman jumps into a phone booth, which don't exist anymore. So how does that work?
Ryan
Yes,
Reynolds
they do
found
in
one,
London,
apparently.
right?
Super speed.
Yeah, I know. They spin her out. Shh. We saw Tom Welling do that a lot.
See, if they didn't spin around, you'd see things you're not supposed to see when they're changing.
I changed in the car. Don't ever look for me.
While you're spinning around?
No. So that's
There were
really
the cops on the radio. We have a half-naked woman doing donuts,
Donuts
in the parking lot.
lot. I was just thinking
Yeah.
the same
I mean,
thing.
so that's really why no one can do it, because of that hypnotic aura,
All right.
Gotcha.
which
That
makes
sense.
complete sense.
It does.
You know, because that was one of the questions. Like, it's just a pair of glasses.
But yeah, but it's one of those things that's not brought up in those,
Yeah,
in
and
those
his
early
hair
years,
is.
though.
Well, it's because as with everything in comics,
And they adapt.
they've
They
had
have
to adapt and
change
change.
and evolve.
I mean,
yeah.
that's one thing that Man of Steel really showed, because it's really hard to hide now.
It is.
I mean, it really is in this day and age with Facebook, social media, cell phones, and everything like that. Superheroes can't really hide like someone could have in the 50s or the 60s
Yeah.
or the
Smallville
40s.
touched on it a little bit too.
Yeah.
With like Chloe and the torch and everything.
Yeah, so I really liked how fast Lois found him, and I know everyone is like, I can't believe this. How could she have tracked
Lois
him down?
is a bad A investigative reporter.
Yeah, but really, it wasn't hard, because it's in this day and age, it would be really easy to track that
yeah.
down. So I liked that point of fact that they brought in, but unfortunately, the parents' model they had in that was horrible compared to what it really is. I mean, that's the key foundation of Superman was Jonathan and Martha Kent and how they raised him, and you should help other people, and
So
but
is
it's-
that your superhero?
Yes, Superman is.
Superman is
Yeah.
your hero.
Yep.
I mean, superhero that he likes, not your
Yes,
hero.
that is the greatest. Yes,
Okay, well,
because I love the foundation, but at the same time, in the comic books, and one thing people got upset with Man of Steel is Superman has killed. He has done it, but it's his last resort.
well,
But
it's
the thing
know.
about
Remember
Man of
him
Steel, and
killing-
here's the thing, is that it took me a while to accept that. And I actually asked Dean Cain at, I want to say the first Salt Lake Comic
That
Con.
was one of the. I think it was the first. Yeah.
I asked him, I'm like, so what did you think of that? And I'm like, did you find it, I don't even remember the exact wording I used, but I'm like, did you find that like a Superman thing to do? And he's like, well, he's done it before. I think he did say that. I'd have, like I
Yeah,
said, it's been so
he
long.
has done it before, and
But
he did
Dean
it to
Cain
Zod.
actually did defend that, which was
Well, he was put in an impossible situation.
he was, and that's why after going back, even though I didn't agree with it at the time,
Mm-hmm.
the more I thought about it and dwelled on it, and I saw the movie like 3 times in the theaters
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a huge Superman fan. He's my first love, and
It's
he.
actually the first comic book I ever read.
But I came to accept that because I'm like, if you watch that scene, he could have ended Zod way before he did. It
Oh, yeah.
literally was the last resort.
Well, no, I mean he could have easily ended Zod before the whole Metropolis battle started.
Easily.
Because Zod wasn't fully into his powers at that point, but he was
Okay,
put
but
in.
how many people lost their lives in between?
Well, lots, but see that's
I have a view on
I
this,
know,
though. How
but-
many people have to die before Superman
Before
decides
Superman will
to kill one
decide-
person?
well,
Exactly.
But that's the thing. This sets up that dichotomy for him of I do not kill, I protect the innocent, because he's gone through that. All these people died because of his people. He had to kill the last remnants of his people, and he had to choose between the Krypton and humans.
He's constantly at war with himself.
Yeah, and so he had to make that final decision, and then he has to live with the aftermath, and so that makes sense why he has this strict moral code now. I a lot of people miss that, but I think was the foundation of the build. They didn't do it in a great way,
no.
obviously, but I think it was a good way to show, hey, this is why he has that foundation.
And that's kind of comes back to Captain America, too.
Yeah.
They're both very similar in their moral compass and why I love them.
See, it's
I
funny
cosplay
you
Lois
mentioned
Lane,
that whole
too.
moral compass thing
As long as
because
it's Steve Rogers.
I start to think,
Yeah.
again about how many people have to die before Superman kills somebody to save those lives. So, is it one of those catch-22s, I guess, where just like at Dark Knight, you either die by the villains, or you live long enough to see yourself become one. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
What did he say? He said, you either live to be a hero. I know it ends with you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
you either die a hero or you
There
live
we
long
go, that's
enough
what it was.
to
You
be
die
able
a
to see
hero.
yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
And so is that what they're saying? Is somebody who's finally said, you know what? I now realize this guy is psychotic. He's a danger. He is gaining power that could be potentially dangerous. If you ask me, that would be the first moment in which you're then keeping them safe. You
But you
then
can
make- Alright.
cut psychoticness out of the community.
We're out of time.
Okay.
However, stay tuned for the next show because we'll just continue on with this conversation.
I like that idea.
So with this said, we're out of here.
Stuck it.
Just because the world is without fuel doesn't mean it can't burn. Union Forest has unleashed a dragon upon the world, and it's hungry. Henry Morgan has to save his brother and face the dragon. Check out The Shadows Above the Flames, written by our very own Daniel Swinton and published by Immortal Works. You can find your copies on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, or anywhere books are sold. So go get your copy today and find out what happens to Henry and Rick.